Hi, I must commend you. You are doing extremely very well. If you are here on this channel, new, this is CMG-MathSpace, where we teach core math and elective math for SHS students, right? And then those who enjoy learning math and want to understand some of the important topics or the rudiments that they couldn't grasp when they were in SHS. Right, now this is chapter 3. So we have done chapter 1, chapter 2, and then now we are doing introduction to algebraic expressions, right? This is it. Let me give you algebraic expressions, right? So what we are going to do now, we are not going to start doing calculation now. We are going to introduce you to the topic. And then for the record, this is one of the easiest topics that you can enjoy in math, right? Here, algebraic expressions, we are basically talking about variables, right? Variables or letters representing what? Numbers, right? So instead of going straight or talking straight directly about numbers, we represent them with letters or symbols, variables, right? So these numbers, these variables actually stand for the numbers that we are going to talk about. And then we combine them with operators, right? Math cannot be done without operators or operations, right? So these numbers or variables, we operate on them with what? Operators. So that's basically what you're going to do. Now let's tell you the course overview or the subject overview, right? So we talk about at the end of the unit, the student should be able to express statements in mathematical symbols, right? And then add and subtract algebraic expressions, multiply two binomial expressions, factorize algebraic expressions, apply difference of two squares to solve problems, perform operations on simple algebraic fractions, determine the conditions under which an algebraic fraction, is undefined or zero. So that's what we're going to talk about basically. So one may be wondering what is the use of this. Now, as you progress in your education or in academia, then we get a time that you have to engage in exams called aptitude test. Now, in aptitude test, this is what they basically ask, right? We do when it comes to math. Simple math, in as much as they seem simple or harmless, trust me, 90% or even, yes, if I'm not being outrageous, 90% of the students or candidates fail this aptitude test, not because they are that difficult, but because we couldn't grasp the basis when we were in our elementary. This is it. So basically, this is what we're going to do. No, in fact, you don't worry. Let me not talk much. They will come to bear when we start. So introduction. Now we are going to read basically in this introductory video. Now in an algebra, or let's say in algebra, letters are used to stand for numbers. When letters are used to stand for different numbers, they are called variables. Like I said, usually the letters such as N, T, or X we use them for this normally. So we could use any of the letters of the alphabet to represent these numbers. Now, but we are saying that basically many a time this is what you see. So sometimes people think these letters cannot be changed. Now for example, we might say that S stands for the side length of a square. Letters which have fixed numbers or variables, values are called what? Constants, right? Constants. Then for example, in 2 pi r square h, r and h are variables. Their values can be changed or they can change. That's what I mean. Variables mean the values can change. And then, or we can assign different values to those variables or letters. So they are like containers. And then 2 and pi are, this is the meaning or the symbol for pi, right, are constants. Now these values stay the same, right, because they are constant. Constant variables mean that the value are constant anywhere that you see them. That's the value that you have to apply in that equation. So they are constant, they don't change. So constant values of variables don't change. Yes. Now, in an algebraic expression is a collection of letters and symbols combined with at least one of the arithmetic operations, like I said earlier. Now we have the plus sign, minus, multiplication, division. That is it basically. Now, for example, 2x plus y minus 3, right, and 3ab squared c are algebraic expressions, right? So these are algebraic expressions. We are combining numbers, letters, and operations to make a statement. So that is what it means. Now, note that this multiplication sign and division signs are not usually written in algebraic expressions, but you have to know that AB means, right, A times B, and then A over B means, right, A divided by B. So they won't write A times B. If you see a variables just adjacent, line adjacent, it means that the operator between them is multiplication. So that's what they have to be represented here, A times B. Then A over B means A divided by B. That is it. Now, moving on, we have some terms. Now, the terms in an expression are separated by plus sign or minus signs. For example, the terms of 3x minus 2y plus 5 are x 3x, right, comma, negative or minus 2y, and then 5. So if you want to separate them or segregate them to understand what these figures or in terms of expressions are, we have 3x, comma, that's a separate 3x, this is a term. So 3x is one term, that's what it means, one term. 3x is one term, negative 2y is another term, and then 3 and 5, sorry, is also another term. Now we get to understand these things. Now, a number on its own is called a constant term. So 5 has no variable attached, and this is a constant. We told you that constant don't change. The value is the same throughout expression or whatever question you may be given. That is it. Now, for example, in 3x minus 2y plus 5, the number 5 is the constant term, right? Note that a term consists of a number, letters, and powers of letters. So a term may be a number of expressions in where we don't have any operator between them. You understand? No operator is within or between them. So the term 3x squared y is one term, right? No operator is between 3x squared and y. It's one term. The same thing is here. Negative 2y squared z cube plus what? 5x. So 5x is also another term, right? So in effect, this is what they are saying again. Now since they are separated by plus and then negative signs, right? So it's the same thing that I've expressed. Now, in the term, the number comes first. In a term, the number comes first, followed by the letters in alphabetical order. For example, we write 3x squared yz and not yz 3x squared. So in terms of the alphabet, we go in chronologically or alphabetically, right? That's what it means. So we are just doing this for orderliness, for better grouping. That's the idea. So it's not anything so special, but it's a standard that you just have to follow. It's not like you get it wrong when you do this. It's just a standard that you have to follow. That is it. Now the number placed in front of and thus multiplying a letter or a group of letters is called the coefficient, right? So for example, in 7y, 7 is the coefficient of y. So the constant or the number that comes in front of the letters is that number is called the coefficient of the variable. So coefficient of 7y is 7. Also in this particular one, 3x squared minus 2y, right? 3 is the coefficient of x squared, and negative 2 is the coefficient of y. So you are getting the picture. Now, in like terms, the letters and powers of each letter must be the same, right? So So let's meet in the next episode where I'll talk